Along with your undisputed king of beers, Budweiser, this Buds for You present another World Championship bout. Once again sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, also by the World Boxing Organization. President Francisco Barcasel, WBO supervisor at ringside is Rudy Paz. The three judges scoring this bout will be Lou Moret, Aaron Kaiser, and Juan Baez. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Raul Caiz. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the blue trimmed with gold and white, and weighing in at 114 pounds. His professional record, 42-21, with one draw, 29 KOs to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, from Guadalajara, Mexico, introducing the challenger, Willy Salazar! And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the turquoise trimmed with black and weighing in at 115 pounds. His professional record, 32-0, with 2 draws, 18 KOs. He comes to us from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undefeated WBO Junior Bantamweight Champion of the World, the babyface assassin, Johnny Tapia.
So ready to go here, Johnny Tapia, who really is a pretty charismatic kind of fighter, retired for 3.5 years because of all of his out-of-the-ring problems, but he's back and has been performing pretty well. This is his 4th defense of the WBO Super Flyweight title. Referee Raul Caiz in charge here. Tapia, in fact, has had a couple of non-title fights of late to keep him ticking over, but it was a bit of a close call in his last defense against Ricardo Vargas. That went to a technical draw, and 2 of the judges had it level at the time it was stopped because of a cut to Vargas. Tapia in the darker blue trunks, the typical Mexican looks of the 32-year-old Willy Salazar, who had probably the upset win of the year when he beat Danny Romero. Romero fracturing an eye socket in the 7th round of that fight, although Romero was ahead at the time. Tapia, lots of ability, plenty of class, youth on his side. He starts favourite here, Glenn.
Yes, he does. And Salazar, he's a tough journeyman, very experienced, lots of fights. So really, Tapia has got to have done his work right.
Salazar will have been lifted by that win over Romero because it's pitched him into the big time. How brief that visit to the big time might be, we shall see. This for the Super Flyweight title, as recognized by the World Boxing Organization at 8 stone 3 pounds. Salazar with the reputation of being a tough old pro, but he has been stopped 13 times. Is there a clue there, I wonder?
Well, I think Tapia will be looking to try and put the pressure on Salazar.
As he did then, 2 cracking right hands from Tapia. Tapia's life story really has been a triumph over adversity, or a triumph at this stage of it anyway. So, well, a boxing match must almost seem like child's play to him.
Salazar's jabs are falling short, where Tapia, he just seems to have found his range better in the opening round.
Sharper work, sharper start from the 28-year-old champion from Albuquerque in New Mexico. good speed about him, Tapia.
Yes, he's sharp then, as he demonstrates. He puts his combination together quite well. And again, you see Salazar out of distance.
Nice skills, too, from Tapia, who just danced back cleverly out of range. It's been an impressive start, this, from Johnny Tapia. He's won that opening round, I think. Welcome back to the Fantasy Springs Casino. And Johnny Tapia on the attack in that opening round.
Yes, a better start from Tapia. Not much coming back from Salazar.
WBO Super Flyweight title on the line here, just to remind you. Tapia, whose mother was murdered when he was 8 years old. His father abandoned him. There have been drug problems, domestic bust-ups. It makes Mike Tyson's upbringing seem positively cosseted.
Yes, it does. But he's finding his way in boxing, so it's been a good thing for this man.
Lots of skills, Tapia, and so far Salazar not really able to make any kind of impression at all. I think he's still trying to work Tapia out.
Salazar just trying to pick his work up a little bit with the very light, just cuffing sort of shots. The better work again from Tapia. Nice right hand there.
Tapia is unbeaten so far in 34 contests. He's won 32 of them, 18 inside the distance. So he's not a sledgehammer puncher. Former USBA champion, he made 4 defenses of that, included one against Luigi Camputaro, who we've seen in Britain a couple of times. Salazar just beginning to warm to his task a little more in round 2.
Salazar has 29 knockouts, but doesn't look to be a solid puncher. His punches look very light.
Certainly taken him a long time to establish himself. He was a bit of a hit or be hit type of merchant early on, and then he won the Mexican title, and that was a bit of a breakthrough for him, but it was in his 33rd fight. Good right hand there inside from Salazar, who's beginning to get busier. Needed to. And the right hand from Tapia is a good one. And again, looks open to those, doesn't he, Salazar?
Yes, better work. When Tapia picks it up, he looks good.
Last few seconds then of the second round. Oh, the heads coming together, and a nasty cut by the look of it there for Salazar. It looks bad.
It does look bad. Tapia just rushed in to try and land a left hook. Salazar stayed there looking for the uppercut, but the heads clashed, and Salazar has come off the worst.
Cut underneath the left eye, and another one around the bridge of the nose. I think Tapia is saying, well, not my... Oh, it's worse than the bridge of the nose. It's just above the right eye as well. That could be dodgy. Oof. Real pain written on the face of Salazar. The bell's gone. Meanwhile, between the rounds, whose fault do you reckon that was? Was that just accidental, or was Tapia to blame? He did charge it a bit.
He did charge in. You'd have to say it's accidental. I think he thought Salazar was going to move out the way for him. Salazar stayed there looking for the uppercut, and the heads clashed. I think anything could have happened in that clash. Tapia himself could have been cut.
And let's have a look again. Now, he missed with the punch, and then his momentum took him on, and that's what caused the cuts. Really bad clash of heads as well. I just wonder whether this could become a factor, whether they'll have to go to the scorecards. Remember, that happened in Tapia's last defense against Ricardo Vargas. Third round, Tapia holds out his gloves by way of an apology. He looked more upset about it than Salazar did.
Yes, shrugging his shoulders in the corner. I don't think he was happy about that incident.
Well, they've done a good job for the moment in the Salazar corner of patching up the damage.
Now, with that sort of damage, Salazar really has to pick his work rate up.
Tapia has stepped up the tempo himself, though, in this third round. Tapia, remember, in the darker shorts here.
I'm sure Tapia will want to get a good win here, not a controversial one.
It's almost as if he's gone out in this round as if to say to people, well, I could have done the job impressively anyway if this does come to a cut stoppage. No sign of that at the moment. Left hand and his own momentum with the right took him down on the floor. No knockdown, of course.
Again, Tapia really lurching in and getting himself in a bit of trouble there and off balance.
Tapia honed his skills in the amateurs, where he was twice a national Golden Gloves champion. He's been doing some work with Oscar De La Hoya as well, up at Big Bear in the mountains, 80 miles from LA. Negative, really, Salazar.
He's very negative, especially with a bad cut. He's really got to try and pick the work rate up a bit and really go looking for Tapia.
Not really fighting with a lot of belief, Salazar, so far, particularly when he's come off that great win he had against Danny Romero. That victory, by the way, was not a world championship fight. It was a non-title fight when he beat the IBF flyweight champion. But nevertheless, it's a superb scalp for him to claim. Not really building on that so far here, though, is he, Glenn?
No, Tapia finding the target with head and body.
Tortilla chips are totally tastier when you spice them up with new Uncle Ben's salsa dips. The chunkiest tomatoes, crunchiest onions, tangiest peppers, and Uncle Ben's secret spices. There's hot, cool, and spicy cheese. Transform your tortilla chips, spice them up with new Uncle Ben's salsa dips.
Welcome back. As you can see, damage around the eyes of Willy Salazar, the veteran Mexican who's trying to take the WBO Super Flyweight Championship away from Johnny Tapia, the neat boxing hero of Albuquerque in New Mexico, where he's a bit of a cult hero these days after all his previous problems. Tapia in the darker shorts, the two-tone blue, if you like.
Salazar trying to pick his work rate up, just landing with a sneak little right hand. Again, he doesn't seem to really be getting the power in his punches.
Fifth round of 12, this one. Of course, the big fight they want in Albuquerque is Tapia against Kid Dynamite Danny Romero, the man who lost to Salazar on an injury, but Romero is going to need some time to mend. Could happen. They'd have to sort out the weight differential. It's not too much. Romero, the 8-stone champion, and Tapia at 8'3". He's outworking Salazar in a pretty emphatic way so far.
Yes, he's outworking him, but he's still getting caught with punches on the way in. I think he's got to try and get into range quicker than he is.
Tapia with Sugar Ray Leonard in the team, which is not bad for publicity and other reasons. Doesn't do any harm to the cause.
Tapia's got control in the centre of the ring, but still at times just been picked off with light shots by Salazar.
It's a bit of a token look about Salazar's own jab. And now look at Tapia. He can't resist the showmanship, just trying to do a bit of cheerleading, get the crowd going for him.
I think also he's trying to pick his own work rate up a bit, trying to inspire himself. He's just having a few problems with this style of Salazar, and he's having difficulty cutting the ring off.
A lot of good judges reckon that Tapia may be the best of the world champions at this weight, although of course it's always open to argument. Good body shot from him right at the end of the round. Now then, has Salazar got anything to beat Tapia with here, do you think, Glenn?
It doesn't look as if he has anything really to beat him. It looks as if he's just trying to, keep it in the fight. He's a tough trial horse type of fight, and he looks as if he's trying to go the distance, give Tapia problems. He doesn't look as if he's really trying to get in this fight and push Tapia back.
Some damage there around the bridge of the nose by the look of it for Tapia. There is Sugar Ray Leonard, the great Sugar Ray. People asking him still, is he going to make a comeback at the age of 39? He says, no, I'm through. I think they're happy enough in the Tapia corner with the way things are going.
Yes, I think Tapia is just a little frustrated. You see, he's just trying to lift his performance there, come out with a nice flurry, but Salazar is doing his best and keeping out of the way of a lot of punches and just managing to pick Tapia off at times.
Sixth round, they call it junior bantamweight over here. We tend to call it super flyweight. Same thing. The 8 stone 3 division. Tapia, the one currently on the right of your picture. If you still need the identification. Good left hook that from Tapia. Salazar has been on a slightly better run of late. He's won 3 out of 4 in 1995, though it's a pretty mixed record overall of 42 wins against 21 defeats and a draw. He did have another world title shot, WBA version of the light flyweight title against the Korean Young Woo Ya. I think I got that right.
And this is better work from Tapia. He's trying to get closer in. He's trying to work Salazar over.
You kind of just wish, from Salazar's point of view, that he might grow in ambition a little more in the fight.
Yes, it's a negative performance, but I think obviously he respects Tapia, and he's just trying to steal a decision here, just trying to pick punches. I don't think that's going to be enough. He is managing at times to frustrate Tapia.
We have Tapia well ahead on our scorecard so far. Maybe you could give Salazar a share of 1, maybe even 2 at a push, but not much beyond that, I wouldn't think, would you, Glenn?
I wouldn't. I've got Salazar just sharing 1 round. But he's still managing to give Tapia a few problems out there.
At least the cuts he sustained have held up pretty well. Some good body shots from Tapia too. But on what we've seen so far, he doesn't look as if he's got the power to take Salazar out.
Well, it looks as if he's going to do that, it's going to be with a number of punches. He's got to try and pin him on the ropes in the corner and get a cluster of punches going.
Or wear him down late on. Last quarter of a minute of the 6th round, so moving towards the halfway point of the fight. Some very damaging looking body shots these from Tapia. Big finish to the round from the champion. Welcome back, round 8 coming up here. The World Boxing Organization's super flyweight title. Little sign maybe that the WBO are beginning to make some inroads in the United States. Most of their recognition has come in Britain so far. Tapia, the champion, in the darker blue shorts. And when he turns around, just to help you further, he's got his name written on the waistband. And he's winning the fight at the moment, then.
Yes, he's winning the fight. Now, his tactics of going to the body are starting to work better. He's trying to wear his man down.
It's those body shots you would think must slow Salazar down. Not that he's been particularly fast or elusive before.
Well, he is managing to land with little counters, but this is better from Tapia.
Sugar Ray Leonard getting excited. Tapia losing his balance there over by the ropes. No knockdown. I think Tapia himself feels he needs a spectacular win over this journeyman.
Yes, I'm sure he'll want to win this fight in a good fashion.
It's because he'll want to turn around to the Albuquerque fans and say, I made a much better job of Salazar than Danny Romero did. Oh, good right hand there from Johnny Tapia.
But he's getting closer and closer, enough to get Sugar Ray Leonard on his feet again.
Tapia is one of those guys, though, that, well, trouble does seem to follow him around. Last year, he was arrested at one point for selling drugs, and later they found out it was soap. So he steered clear of the law on that occasion. Tapia really is in control in there at the moment. Salazar just needing to find more ambition, devil, drive, call it what you will. Needs to do something just to change the pattern, because the rounds are going against him all the time. He's stuck in this mold.
Yes, you don't really feel that Salazar has the ambition to upset Tapia. But I'd like to see Tapia pick the work up now. I think he's winning these rounds, but he really needs a big stage in the fight.
Some big punches again. Tapia, there's a little clock in his head which says last 10 seconds, and then he really does explode.
These new extra strong lockets work in 2 ways. First, the menthol helps clear your nose, then the liquid center soothes your throat. I don't call them double action lockets for nothing. Lockets help clear your nose and soothe your throat. These new extra strong lockets work in 2 ways. First, the menthol helps clear your nose, then the liquid center soothes your throat. They don't call them double action lockets for nothing. Lockets. Good job they're not triple action, we'd be here all night.
Welcome back. Willy Salazar has had one great moment in 1995. He's got work to do if he's going to produce another and become a world champion late on in his career. That's Tapia just slipping down.
Yes, he was just starting to get a little bit on top there. Some good punches landed when he lost his footing. You can see Salazar, a cagey old journeyman, just keeps coming back with punches. Very tough.
Yeah, but I think you said it there. Here he is in a world title fight. We both use the word now, journeyman.
That's right. And I think Tapia now should make better work of this type of fighter.
9th round, Salazar's face looking a bit the worse for wear. It has done for some time since he sustained those cuts in the clash of heads. They didn't help his cause or his confidence. So we look for some sign here that Salazar is going to pick up the tempo. He must realize that he's falling, well, almost irretrievably behind on points, I would think, by this stage. Again, Tapia moves into cheerleading mode. Chants of Johnny, Johnny from his fans. Popular fighter, but of course he needs to find rather wider acclaim from the fame he has at the moment.
Yes, he's got to pick up his work rate now in this fight. He's just allowing Salazar just to mess his work up a little bit. He really has to put his punches together. This is better.
Good left hand. That really rocked Salazar's head back. But at no stage has the Mexican really looked like going down or ever really been close to it.
Well, I think that was the best punch so far from Tapia. He really planted his feet and looked for a solid left hook. But Salazar, to his credit, took it well.
The one thing that is good, Glenn, is that Tapia, through boxing, seems to have found a way to turn his life around a little bit.
That's right. He's had a very difficult childhood. And, you know, he's lived on the wrong side several times, and he's went into that lifestyle. But it's good to see him picking himself up and, you know, channeling his aggressions and channeling his lifestyle into boxing and doing well out of it.
Because they'd really just about given up on him, I think, around 1990, when he had all the drug problems, other things as well, and he spent 3.5 years out, and he came back from all that to become a world champion. So hats off to that. 4-5 punch combination from Tapia. He's doing just about what he wants in there, except stopping Salazar.
Yes, he's getting several punches on, but then he just can't pin Salazar down and get the rest of the punches on enough to force a stoppage.
Big left hook as well from Tapia, and again the fast finish. He's good at that. I know most fighters in their heads, they're so used to training in 3-minute segments that they know when there's half a minute left in the round. He seems to know when there's 10 seconds left in the round.
That's right. I think he would do better if he timed it for the last 30 seconds, because he just looked there at the end that he had Salazar in a bit of trouble when the bell went. He's just leaving it a little bit too late for his flow. He wants to put more work in.
I think it's probably designed just to make sure that the judges give him the round. There couldn't have been much doubt in many of the rounds anyway. Sugar Ray Leonard there as well, and I think they're going to wave it off at this point. They are indeed. Tapia has the victory. It stopped, and Salazar, by the look of it, with that damage, does not come out for the next round, and Tapia retains the title. Look at Sugar Ray Leonard. He looks as happy as the night he beat Marvin Hagler.
Yes, he's very happy with that. It was the last 10 seconds did it, and then Salazar, obviously, the pounding throughout was enough.
So Johnny Tapia retains the title. Salazar cannot go on.
Ladies and gentlemen, acting on the advice of ringside physician Dr. Robert Carnes, referee Raul Caiz calls a halt to the bout. The official time, it comes at the end of round number 9. The winner by knockout victory, and still the undefeated WBO Junior Bantamweight Champion of the World, the babyface assassin, Johnny Tapia.
Easy win for Tapia. And Salazar